Right now, I'm going to show you how to install this WolfBox dash cam. This is the X3 Pro dash cam. It's a front and rear facing dash cam. These are so easy to install. Honestly, if I knew how easy it was to install, I would have installed these years ago. When you get the kit, you're going to get everything you need to install it. You'll get the cameras, you'll get the cables, the hardware, you even get some tools and things like that as well. The only thing that I used that did not come with it was glass cleaner to clean my windshield, and then I used a little bit of tape to fasten the rear-facing camera just to test it out before I went ahead and secured it in place. Now to get started, you honestly do want to plug in the camera first just to test it, make sure everything's working right. So get everything together. I put all of my stuff inside the lid of the box, brought it out to the car, and then basically set everything up first before I went ahead and used it. So to plug it in, you're just going to get 12-volt power from your car. Used to be called the cigarette lighter, so you'll just plug in your power adapter. Then you can plug in the front-facing camera. Now the front-facing camera is powered by the mounting bracket. However, the mounting bracket can be removed. It does have this little plastic piece on the front of it that you can slide on and off. So once it is fastened to your or secured to your windshield, you can slide it on and off, or you can remove the camera from the mounting bracket. So you've got two ways to remove your front facing camera. But go ahead and plug it in here, and then you just want to test everything out. So on the top of your mounting bracket here, you will have your Type-C power. So you'll just plug that into the mounting bracket, plug your camera in. After a few seconds here, when it's plugged in, it'll power on, and then you'll see the video here. Now you got a couple different options here. You do have the little buttons down on the bottom that you can toggle through. So you've got left, right, menu, and OK. So if you want to use those buttons, you can. Otherwise, it is touch screen. So you can swipe through, touch everything on it, and then you can select the different menu options. Now the rear-facing camera connects to your front-facing camera for power. So you have your mounting bracket here that powers your front-facing camera, and then your rear-facing camera, you will plug the cable in here to get power to your rear-facing camera. Now plug everything in first just to make sure that you're seeing video from both of your devices. Make sure that there's nothing wrong with your wires, anything like that. It's always a good thing to test everything first before you start installing it into your car, because running the long cable and things like that, if you have any issues, you want to troubleshoot that first before you install everything. Now at this point, it's kind of up to you. You can also download the app before you get started as well. That's what I elected to do. And with the app, you can actually get and manage your video recordings from both of the cameras. So there is a QR code to the app. You'll just look it up, get it on the App Store or the Google Play Store, download it to your device, and then you will connect it to your device. Going through that process, you do want to turn Bluetooth off on your phone, and then you will look for a Wi-Fi connection through your phone, and then you'll be able to find the camera and you can connect it that way. There are step-by-step instructions that you get with it, and then the camera itself will walk you through the process when you're trying to connect it to your device for the first time. It's super easy. If you can basically turn on your smartphone and download an app, you can get it connected to your phone. It's really easy. And then from there, you'll be able to manage your video. However, it does come with a 64 gigabyte SD card that is easy to get here on the side. There's just this little cover on the side. You'll take that off. You can pop out your SD card, and then you can get the footage directly to your computer, which I'll show you a little bit later. Now let's start with the mounting brackets here. So of course you want to make sure your windows are nice and clean on the inside here. You get these static stickers, these static electric stickers. So you'll just put those on first, and then you will mount the front-facing camera bracket to that electrostatic sticker. Then for the rear-facing camera, all you're going to do is run the cable or wire up around the trim of your car. It is really easy, actually. You also get this little tool, so if you are having any issues, especially around the frame of your door, you might need to get that tool in there, and then you can get the wire in there. Now, one thing about this wire is it is a little bit thinner than some others that I've used, so it was a lot easier to get in and around the trim of my car in this case. Now, around your door frame here on the inside, you do just have this rubber trim, so it was really easy to run through and around the door frames. Now, as far as the main power to the camera as well, I've elected to kind of just run my cable straight down, but the cable is long enough that I could run it up and around the trim down and around, and then under the glove box up to the 12-volt power supply that I have in my car. It's really dependent on your situation and how your vehicle is set up. But for me, it's not that obstructive to have the cable running down, so I'm just going to leave it running down as it is. However, it's up to you on how you want to manage that cable, but there are options to run it up and out of the way so you're not dealing with that cord. So you can see I have the back part of the mounting bracket here on my windshield, and then I can just slide on the main mounting bracket here for the dash cam, and again I can just pull this off if I want to, and then I have a couple options there. Now I'm going to go ahead and mount this up here, push it in, it kind of clicks into place, and then I want to plug in my rear facing dash cam. So here on the top we've got our Type-C port here. I'm just going to plug that in, and now we will get power to our rear facing camera here. As you can see, it just popped up there. Now again, touch screen here, we can slide through a couple different views. So you can have just your rear facing camera, just your front facing camera. You can have picture in picture where your rear camera is bigger and your front facing camera is smaller, or you can have the opposite where you have a large front facing view and then a smaller rear facing view. And that is my preferred view there. Now with the rear facing camera, it is in this like sleeve, which is the mounting bracket. So I taped it up just to kind of play with it to make sure that it was in a good position before I secured it in place. However, if you do secure it and it's not exactly how you want it, you can just twist that a little bit. So yeah, here I'll show you in my car. I just ran the wire up here around the trim of the car. It's down running through here, up through here. You can kind of see it right here. It's poking out a little bit. I could tuck it in a little bit more if I want to, but it's out of the way right now, so I'm not too worried about it. And then it just continues around and down. Now here in the frame of my car in the back, I was actually able to pull that apart and neatly wrap up the rest of my cable and tuck it in there, so now it's out of the way. And then I've just got my rear facing camera like that. And then here is the final mounting of my rear facing camera. But as you can see here, I can just grab it and twist it. So if you need to adjust it after you've mounted it, don't worry, you can just twist it as needed until it is pointing out of your window and it is getting a clear picture of what's behind you. And here it's just plugged into the camera here. So this is just this Type-C cord, and you can just unplug it and plug it back in. It is super easy. So that's all there is to that. So here I just want to show you some settings here within the dash cam itself. So on the display here, it shows you some good information. Lower left-hand corner, excuse me, you got a little car with a little yellow triangle or orange triangle out the front window. That's just showing me that my front camera is working. Now I had to disconnect the rear camera so that I could pull it off, but when I plug it back in, that will show both two triangles there, one shining out the back as well. Upper right-hand corner, you've got voice control, Wi-Fi when you're connected to Wi-Fi through the app, that will show, and then you have your microphone, whether that's on or off, whether you're recording audio. Here in the upper left-hand corner, it's showing you've got your geolocation, and then you have the 2.5K, which is recording in 2.5K video. Down here at the bottom, you've got your lock icon, so you can lock the screen. You've got your play button, so if you push your play button, that is going to access your folder of videos. So the top left one, it says FCAM, which stands for front cam. So that's going to show all of your front facing camera videos that have been recorded. And then if you go back here, your other folder here is RCAM, rear facing camera videos, and you can click on those and just watch them back directly on your device, which is really nice. So let's get out of that. So that'll be good to have. And then any locked videos will show up in these folders. Now your locked videos, you can lock them manually, or if you have the setting turned on, it will automatically save some when the G sensor is activated. So basically when there's a bump. So sometimes this can get activated by big potholes and things like that. Otherwise, if you get in an accident, it will automatically lock those videos so you can have them in these folders and not worry about losing them. And then here's some different photo folders. So I haven't taken any photos, so we don't have any in there. So we're going to go ahead and hit OK here and go back to the main menu. Sorry, we're going to hit the back button here and go back to the main menu. And then here in the lower right-hand corner, that is kind of your option to swipe through your different displays here. So again, you're just going to swipe through left or right. Since I don't have a rear-facing camera, there's really just this option and the clock. But otherwise, it would let me swipe through my different camera view options. Now let's go ahead and hit the settings menu here. So lower left-hand corner, we're going to hit the settings pinwheel. And here, upper left-hand corner, you can select your resolution. You can do 25K 60 frames per second or 25K 30 frames per second. 60 frames per second, higher frame rate, so you're going to be able to pause things and probably get a clearer picture. So I personally keep it on the higher resolution. Image settings here, you can pick HDR or image stabilization. Here we've got sound recording that you can turn on or off that I already showed you how you can do that as well. G sensor, so you can turn your G sensor to low, medium, or high. So I'm going to keep mine on low. Wi-Fi here, so when you are connecting it to Wi-Fi, you'll turn this on and then it will walk you through the steps to get it connected to your phone, which is really easy. Volume here, I'm going to turn this to low here. And then click tone, you can turn that click tone on or off. I don't know if you can hear the clicks as I'm clicking through the different menu options here. Voice control, driver assistance. Now driver assistance I did turn off because it kept alerting that I was going or departing from my lanes. So that could have to do with how you mount your camera. But for me, that was a distraction, so I turned that off. Now here you have mirror flip. Now this is going to be important if you're mounting your camera. So when you mount your camera, you might have to mount it upside down just depending on the layout of your car. You can flip the camera view here. So rear camera flip, you do have to have the camera plugged in obviously to do that. But if you're getting a picture that's upside down, just come in here in the menu options, hit that, and that will go ahead and take care of that for you. So now we can just kind of look through some of the other settings here. So you can change the language, clock settings, time zone, speed units if you're going to do miles per hour or kilometers. So you have all of your options within the camera that you can customize. Now let's take a look at some of the footage from the dash cam. Here on the left side, we've got 2.5K 30 frames per second. On the right side, 2.5K 60 frames per second. Now, the footage or the video on the right is stabilized. So if you're looking at them both side by side, you can see a nice difference between the stabilization on or off. When you put it on the 60 frames per second setting, it automatically does stabilize it. So if you really look at the horizon, you'll see that the tree line there is not bouncing around. So if you need to, rewind the video a little bit and rewatch that as you need to, but you'll see that it's much more stable on the right side. Now, when you put it on 60 frames per second, it will automatically stabilize it. Now, when it does that, it also crops the video here. So now we can see that the video's not as wide, but we've got a nice stable image. It's nice and smooth. We can see everything nice and clearly. So that's kind of your trade-off there. So you can do 30 frames per second or 60 frames per second. 30 frames per second, you're going to have a wider screen view. 60 frames, it's going to be, or 60 frames per second is going to be cut off a little bit, but still really good quality. And that is my preferred setting. So I always leave it on this 60 frames per second mode. Now here's the rear camera, and it's nice and clear also. It's going to record at 30 frames per second. Now I was able to pause it during this video here, and I could actually read license plates of the cars right behind me. Now let's also take a look at the information that you're getting on your videos. So on the bottom, starting on the left side, you're going to get the date and the time. In the middle, we've just got the logo, WolfBox. That's the type of camera we're using. And then in the lower right-hand corner, we're going to get our location, so longitude and latitude. And then even further on the right, we're going to get our speed. So tons of cool information that you can have time stamped right onto your videos. And you can adjust these settings on the camera or in the app, so you can turn those on or off as you please. I prefer to have them on because if you ever need that information, it's right there. Another thing I want to show you here is file management. Now, it's not a big deal until it is a big deal, but the nice thing is that all of your footage is saved really nice and organized on your SD card. So you can take the micro SD card out of the dash cam. You can plug it in or pop it into your computer here, and then you can go ahead and open it just like you would any USB drive or anything like that. The top folder here is going to be any locked videos. I don't think I have any. Oh yeah, I've got a couple here for the front. So the G sensor goes off or you lock them automatically. That's basically all of your saved footage. Those videos won't be overwritten when it goes on its loop recording. Otherwise, you're just going to open the movie file here. Then you have your front camera, your rear camera in folders here, and you can just pop open those folders. Now you can change the view how you see fit, but the nice thing is if you keep it here in just the titles and information here, all of them are organized by basically the date and time that they were recorded. So you can really quickly organize them. So if you ever have an incident or something, you can just mark down the date and time, and then you have your 1-minute files. So you can just go back to that exact time and grab the footage that you want from both your front or rear camera. So it's really nicely organized so that when you do need to access your footage, and hopefully you won't need to, but in the event that you do need to grab some footage, it's really easy to find it. So just remember the date and time that something happened, and you will easily be able to go back and grab the footage that you're looking for. Now, to get it connected to the app, it's actually very simple. So of course, you're going to have to download the app first. There's a QR code in the instruction manual that it came with. Otherwise, go to the App Store, find WolfBox Auto, download the app. You'll have to create an account, just an email and a password. Once you've created your account, you will need to add the new dash cam to your app. So in order to do that, you want to get in your car, be right next to your dash cam. So the first thing you're going to do is turn the dash cam on, and then you will turn on the Wi-Fi. So you can do that directly from basically the home screen on the camera itself. Upper right-hand corner, it's got the Wi-Fi logo or symbol. You're going to click on that, or click on the settings pinwheel and then click on the Wi-Fi within the settings. Then you're going to select the band that you want, 2.4 or 5.8 gigahertz band. Select one of them, and then on your phone, what you want to do is disable Bluetooth. So turn off Bluetooth, and then go to your settings and go to your Wi-Fi settings, just like you would connect to internet at your home or a business, coffee shop. Same process. You go to your Wi-Fi within your settings, and you'll see the dash cam has popped up as one of your options for Wi-Fi. So click on that, and then it will connect to your dash cam. Now, once the two are connected, there is a password for the first time you connect. It's right there on the screen when it pops up. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 basically. So super simple password, but type that in, get it connected, and then when you're in the app itself, you can actually manage your camera. So you can access all of the settings. You can even view the camera in real time, and it's a really slick app. And that way you can grab all of your footage so you don't have to grab or take out the SD card. Now let's take a look at some nighttime driving footage, starting with the front-facing camera. I did recording at 2.5K, 60 frames per second, a nice clean image. I was able to pause the video at different points and pick out license plate numbers and some street signs as well. And then the rear-facing dash cam, it had a nice clean image. While it wasn't as good as the front-facing dash cam, still a nice, easy-to-see image that wasn't overly blurry. So overall, I am also really impressed with the performance of this dash cam even while driving at night. Now, as we're wrapping up, I do just want to say thank you very much to WolfBox. Full transparency, they did send me this dash cam for free. In exchange, I told them I would make a video showing how to install it and then give my general thoughts, feelings, and opinion about this dash cam. And I have to say, I am very impressed. The quality, the ease of use, all of the functions and features, I am very happy with this dash cam. If I knew how easy it was to install one of these front and rear facing dash cams, I would have done it a very long time ago. So don't let it overwhelm you. It's super easy to install. Also, I didn't even jump into all of the features. It does have a hardwire kit that you can get. If you install it with the hardwire kit, then you can set it up for basically 24/7 surveillance on your car. Now that could come in really handy. Let's say, for instance, you went to a movie or something, or you went grocery shopping. You park your car in a parking lot, and while you're away from your car, maybe somebody accidentally backs into your car, and then they decide to drive off. The nice thing is that if you have that hardwire kit installed, the G sensor would have been activated, the cameras would have turned on and started recording, and maybe you would catch a license plate or at least catch something and maybe be able to investigate a little bit further and maybe hold somebody accountable for hitting and running off and not doing anything, you know, leaving a note or anything like that. So tons of different features that I didn't even jump into with this dash cam, so I am very happy with it overall. So I will be making follow-up videos with more information as I discover more functions and features. I will be sharing those. If you have any specific questions, please hit me up in the comments. I'll do my best to answer any questions that I can. Again, my name is Drew. I'll see you in the next one.